Good morning, traders. This is Perry Wilkie with StartupTrading.com. It is 8 minutes till 9 a.m. Eastern Time on Friday, November 22nd. So, for today, as far as news and catalysts go, there's a little bit at 9:45, a little bit at 10, but really nothing. And then, not too much after the bell last night. So there's really no true catalyst today, other than it being like a mini OPEX just because it's Friday. Uh, Obviously, uh, there may be some traders exiting early today and then taking off the entire week next week, as tomorrow will, or as next week will be a shortened week uh, for trading. Looking back at the previous session, right, we had that for the NASDAQ and the ES, right, we had that little bit of value area low check, basically. And if you notice that the Nasdaq did get over the underneath the point of control yesterday briefly and then reversed, but the ES was unable to take out the overnight low and unable to test the point of control from the previous days, and that's really where your bearish line was going to be, is if they could both remain under those levels, and the ES did not even test it, and it was a pretty quick reversal coming out of that value area low check for the Nasdaq. So looking at what that did to structure, we just have some, single prints on the Russell and the Dow. Nothing else really to see. We closed once again up near the high side of value. The previous day we had closed above value. Um, and then you can see on the, the session look that we're kind of one time framing up on, any real weakness. That point of control that wasn't tested yesterday would probably get tested today. That's going to be at 5,900 basically. Otherwise, we could test this 6,004. We'll get about 40 more ES handles to go to get up to it, and then the point of control from yesterday was 76 half. So we'll see if we get can stay above or below. That's about 10 more points up from where we are right now. And then looking at the one time framing, and we just basically did perfect for this bullish trend, right? We uh, bottomed out here, ripped up on the election, come back perfectly into the retracement levels, right? Did the consolidation of 4 days. I'm going to turn off the extended session because the title of my video is "Can we remain above the 4-day balance?" So that 4-day balance is basically going to come in in line with this high that goes back to October 29th. So basically 20,760, which were only about 20 points above at the current time right now, right? So as we look, we're currently trading 781. So it's real close to that level right now. But if we look at the ES, that level for the ES is going to be uh, down at 59.45. We're currently trading 63 half, so about 18 points lower. So they both need to be back inside of that 4-day balance to get something going. You could get, a little bit of divergence, a little bit of, the Nasdaq being weaker after being stronger, blah 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 blah. Uh, but it's going to be uh, more of a money flow if they both are back in here or both staying above. And then the Nasdaq really hasn't finished filling this gap. It needs to get back up to 20,951 basically to fill this gap. So you're looking at another 180 points up from where we currently are to fill that gap. Because right now you have on the Nasdaq, anyways, you have a 6-day island up here is what you have on the chart. So that is going to be overhead supply when you get back into it normally. So we could just back infill in between there as a scenario as well. Uh, Looking at the overnight action, it's been kind of muted, 36 and a quarter points for the ES. And you can see as we look, left on the chart here, uh, we had that, we were here, right? Basically, trading between 58.50 and 5900 for 2 3 weeks, and then had that dip back down to 57.25, uh, and then got a ripper up to 6,050, right? Which was over a 300 point, 325 point rally straight up, and then just some normal retracements after consolidating up there. So now you've got that overhead supply that really kicks in. Um, up here, and then we'll just have to see if you can even tap into that today, is what I'll be watching. So where are we now? Just from yesterday, we're at value area high for the Russell. We're in value for the Nasdaq and the ES, and we're in value for the Dow. They're all, a little bit closer to the top than they are to the bottom, but really not a lot going on. So for the Dow, below these signal prints with momentum would be more bearish, right? Otherwise, you could just get that look below, down to value area low, and just keep going back up on an inside day. It's not unusual for a Friday, uh, and then getting above, which I think would be hard to do with conviction, above 44,400. Might as well just call it 444 to make it easy, right? Getting above there and holding, right? This should be also a fade. You get up here, come back down under 44, 355. You should just, continue to at least go back down to 145, which would be, there's 200 YM points right there. Looking at, that resistance again, potentially above is 6,000 to 6,011. If we look at positioning real quick, uh, you know, for the Qs, 5,000 or 500 is support right now for the Qs. We're currently trading 504.22. So if we were to come back, that would be about 165 points lower than where we are right now. So basically, you'd be looking at 20,620, 20,620 in and around there would be where this 500 marker is. There's a high probability that that gets tested at least once during this session because it is the large gamma marker for next week. Uh, and then you would need the VIX to be, increasing slightly to get you that push down for that test. Otherwise, if the VIX is going the other way, if the VIX keeps dropping steadily during the day, you just can slide all the way up to this 510. That would be your limit for today. I just don't know if you can really make any real progress above 505, which you're only about 30 points away from it, and that is right where the overnight high is. So you got your marker that you can obviously see if you look at mark your overnight high off. That is right where we are. Uh, in the NQ for the overnight is this 505 level. Looking at the SPY real quick, the SPY is currently trading 593, and then basically you've got 590 to 600. So you got plus or minus 50 handles there for the what positioning is for next week. And if we look at it for today, you can see 595 though is a pretty good wall. And if you look at where we topped out overnight, you topped out a dollar underneath. We topped out at 594 overnight, so you could get another 10 points over the overnight high, more than likely, and that's where you should start to see resistance. And then you can, at that point in time, to cross over this, you would need the VIX to continue to drop, and then you could, potentially slide up another 20 handles to 597. And then you'd have to just, monitor and see, but you should get a ping pong around this 597 to 595 if you're able to breach the 595. I'm not going to get into the cash this morning. So, coming back to what I'm looking at, again, it's going to be more powerful as a trader, right? If all the indexes are acting the same, which they haven't been since we've been up in these distribution points after the election, right? We basically had days where, the Russell and the Dow are going up, and the Nasdaq and the ES are going down, or vice versa, if they all act the same, right? If they can all get above value, or if they all get below value very low and are doing something, uh, that trend should be stronger. You should be more aggressive with your entries. If they're divergent, you should be a little bit tighter with everything. You should be less aggressive, and you should expect that the trends are not going to last uh, for more than a time cycle or two at the most. I hope this helps. You guys have a great weekend. We'll see you tomorrow. For those of you taking off next week, enjoy the week, and we'll see you.